Hi, welcome to my video on division of fractions. Division of fractions. The reciprocal of a fraction a over b is b over a, where a is not equal to 0 and b is not equal to 0. Because if b is equal to 0 initially, it'd be undefined. And if a is 0, like 0 over 4, the reciprocal a, 0 will go to the bottom. So both can't be 0 when we're doing reciprocals. Example, let's find the reciprocal of each. Reciprocal is 2 over 3. You turn it upside down. 4 over 7, 7 over 4. 1/5, 5 over 1, or 5. 1 1/3 is a mixed numeral number, so we change it to 1 times 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. So the reciprocal is 3 over 4. Practice, pause, work these out, and then play again to see if you're right. 2/5, 5 over 2. 6 over 7, 7 over 6. 9 over 8, 8 over 9. 2 1/4 is 2 times 4 plus 1 is 9 over 4. Reciprocal, 4 over 9. Now, if you add these together, you want to get the reciprocal. So a common denominator is between 6 and 3. Least common multiple is 6. So I multiply the 2/3 by 2 over 2. That gives me 1 over 6 plus 4 over 6. 2 times 2, 3 times 2. And that gives me a 5 over 6. And the reciprocal of 5 over 6 is 6 over 5. Or 5 into 6 goes once, 1 left over. And division. Let's work this out first. 4 over 7. When you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. 3 over 7, 7 over 3. The 7's cancel once, and you get a 4 over 3. Reciprocal of 4 over 3 is 3 over 4. So that's a reciprocal is to turn the fraction upside down, around. Two numbers are the reciprocals of each other if the product is 1. Let's have a look at this. If 9 over 10 reciprocal is 10 over 9. So when we multiply 9 over 10 times 10 over 9, I can do two ways. I can get a 90 over a 90 when I multiply, which is 1. Or I can cancel. 10 into 10 goes 1, 1. 9 into each of these goes 9 once, and that gives me 1 over 1, which is 1. Reciprocal of 8 over 3 is 3 over 8. Check. 8 over 3 times 3 over 8, which is the reciprocal, gives you, again, 24 over 24, which is 1, or we can cancel. I like to keep stressing cancellation. When you're multiplying fractions, you cancel anywhere top to bottom. So cancel, and I get a 1 over 1, or 1. Reciprocal of 4, 4 is understood to be 4 over 1. Therefore, reciprocal is 1 over 4. Again, put the 4 over 1, and you flip it. You get a reciprocal. So 4 times its reciprocal. 1 over 4 is 1. So notice the 4 is 4 over 1. The 4's cancel. 4 into 4 goes once. 4 into 4 goes once. I get 1 over 1. 3 1/2 is the same as 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. And reciprocal of 7 over 2 is 2 over 7. So if I multiply 3 1/2 times 7 over 2, 3 1/2 is 7 over 2 times, this is a 2 over 7, my mistake. 7 over 2 times 2 over 7. The 7's cancel, 1's. The 2's cancel, 1's. So I get a 1. So that's another way to tell if you had the reciprocal done. The product is a 1. Practice. Pause. Play back. Will you get all the right answers? Let's see. Reciprocal of a half is 2 over 1 or 2. A half times 2 the 2's cancel, and I get a 1. Notice 2 is 2 over 1, so you cancel. 7 over 2, reciprocal is 2 over 7. So 7 over 2 times 2 over 7, which is reciprocal. Again, the 2's cancel. 7's cancel, 1 and 1, so I get a 1. Or I get, remember, I get 14 over 14, which is 1. 3 is 3 over 1, so the reciprocal is 1/3. So 3 is 3 over 1, understood. Any number over 1 is itself. So the reciprocal, so 3 times 1/3. Notice the 3 is over 1. So 3's cancel into each other 1 time, 1, and that gives me 1 over 1, which is 1. 2 and 2/3 is 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3. Reciprocal is 3 over 8. So 2 and 2/3 times 3 over 8. Let's check. 2 and 2/3 is 8 over 3 times 3 over 8. The 8's cancel, 1 and 1. 3's cancel, 1 and 1. So I get a 1. Let's work this out. Number 5. When I multiply, I have to cancel. Can I cancel? 13 goes into 13 once, 1. 7 into 14 goes 2. 7 into 21 goes 3. So that becomes 3 over 2. And the reciprocal of 3 over 2 is 2 over 3. So if you get 3 over 2 times 2 over 3, again, 6 over 6, you can cancel. Do what you wish. 1, 1. 2's cancel, 2 and 1. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 2 goes once, so that gives me 1. So if we took 13 over 14, multiplied it by 21 over 13, and multiplied these two fractions by its reciprocal, let's see what happens. So if I put 2/3 as the reciprocal of this, let's check. The 13 cancels, 1 and 1. 7 into 14 goes 2. 7 into 21 goes 3. 2 cancels, top and bottom, done. 3's cancel, 1 and 1. So I get 1 over 1, which is 1. So again, either simplify it first and then get its reciprocal, or work it out. But division of two fractions, a over b and c over d, is defined by a over b divided by c over d. So when you're dividing, you multiply it by the reciprocal. So notice division becomes a multiplication, and the c over d becomes d over c, the reciprocal of the one on the right. Notice that a, b, and c and d are natural numbers. There's no zeros here. Neither the c nor the d cannot be equal to 0. So that, if I say natural numbers, that eliminates the zeros in c and d. Let's work out the reciprocals here. Try multiplication. Let's see. 2/3. If you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal, 4 over 5. When you do 4 over 7, divide it by 8, so that's 8 over 1, understood. So you multiply by 1 over 8. 3/5. Divide it by a half, so you multiply by 2 over 1, or 2. 7 divided by 4 and 2/3, so that's 7 divided by 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14 over 3. So if we change the mixed numeral to an improper fraction, now we can multiply 7 times its reciprocal, 3 over 14. And practice. Pause, work these out, and then come back. 1 over 10 times reciprocal, 2 over 9. 8 over 11 times 8 over 11 times its reciprocal, 6 over 1, or 6. 9 divided by 3/4, 9 times 4 over 3 reciprocal. Again, when you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal of the number on the right, fraction on the right, or the number. 3 over 7 times 8 is over 1, so it becomes 1 over 8. Now I have two divisions here. So I got 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 7, so that's times 7 over 3. I have another division, so that's a times 1 over 4 is 4 over 1. And 11 over 7 divided by 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. So that's the same as 11 over 7 times 3 over 7. You change your mixed numeral to an improper fraction and multiply by the reciprocal. When dividing fractions, change multiplication to a division. Change your Change your division to a multiplication. Division becomes a multiplication. You change your division to a multiplication. Do the reciprocal of the fraction on the right and continue to follow the multiplication rule. And you notice also we change the mixed numbers, M-I-X, we change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Just a little review. Again, when dividing, you change your division to a multiplication and do the reciprocal of the fraction on the right side. And continue working out the multiplication rules. And you change mixed numbers to an improper fraction. Let's practice. We have several problems here. Here we go. We're dividing, so we want to simplify. So it's 3 over 7 times 2 over 7. And when we do that, nothing, 2 and 3 can't cancel, so we get a 6 over 49. Not all the time you're going to be able to cancel. 4 over 9 times the reciprocal, 3 over 4. The 4's cancel into each other once. 3 cancels into 3 once, 3 into 9, 3. So that gives me 1 times 1 is 1 over 3. Notice, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 10 over 11, multiplied by the reciprocal, 11 over 20. And can we cancel? We're multiplying, can we cancel? 11 goes into 11 once. 10 into 10 goes once, 10 into 20 goes 2. And multiply, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. I'm dividing, so I multiply by the reciprocal. 5 over 2, reciprocal. Divide, you multiply by the reciprocal. Can you cancel? Yep. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 4 goes 2. 5 into 5 goes once, 5 into 10 goes 2. I got a 2 and a 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 2 goes once. So the top is a 1 here and a 1 here, so that's a 1. The bottom is a 1 times 1 is a 1, and we all know what 1 over 1 is, 1. E, 10 divided by 20 over 7 is 10 times 7 over 20. Again, keeping the idea that 10 is the same as 10 over 1, now you can see that the 10 and the 20 will cancel. 10 into 10 goes once, 10 into 20 goes 2. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 2 is 2. And 2 into 7 goes 3 times, makes 6, and there's 1 left over, so it's 3 and 1/2. We're going to divide these, and I have a mixed numeral, so I change it to 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 3. Change your mixed numeral to an improper fraction. In multiplication division, always change them first. Makes it easier to deal with. And when we divide, we multiply by the reciprocal, 6 over 7. And 7 into 7 goes once, right? 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 6 goes 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 over 1 is 2. And we're dividing here, so we have mixed numerals. So let's change the mixed numeral first. 15 plus 1 is 16. Done. Now, because we're dividing, when you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal, 5 over 16. Then you say, can you cancel? So 8 and 16, GCF, 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 16 2. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times. So 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. 2 mixed numerals, let's change them. 20, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22 over 5. divided by. 3 times 10 is 30, plus 3 is 33 over 10. I have the mixed numerals changed to improper fractions. When I'm dividing fractions, I multiply by the reciprocal, 10 over 33. And I'm multiplying fractions, I should cancel. Again, keep the same pattern. Think about what you're doing all the time. Memorize the rules, practice, write them down. Keep doing the same. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 into 10, 2. Notice that 22 and 30, I got a one single digit. So if I divide 2 into 22, I get 11. If I divide 3 into 33, I get 11. So 11 is the GCF. So 11 into 22 goes 2. 11 into 33 goes 3. 11 is a factor of both of these numbers. And that gives me 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 3 is 3. And that's improper fraction. 3 divided into 4 is once and 1 left over. Again, notice 3 divided into 4. The bottom is divided into the top. 3 divided into 4 is once. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 left over. So it's 1, and the 1 left over is the remainder, so it goes over 3. I have all division here. So let's see. I got a 3/5 times. Whoops. I got to change my mixed numeral first. Oh, it is changed. I read the 21 over 15. I thought it was a mixed numeral. So we have no mixed numeral. We're going to multiply it by 15 over 21. We're going to multiply it by, again, 7 over 10. Sorry for that. I thought that was a mixed numeral right there, but it's not. So reciprocal, 15 over 21. Reciprocal, 7 over 10. Now I'm multiplying all of these fractions so I can cancel. In multiplication, I can cancel anywhere from top to bottom. Remember, you cannot cancel in addition or subtraction or division. Division becomes a multiplication, so you can cancel. 3 cancels. 1, 7. And I see a 5 once. 15 is 3. 7 goes into 7 once and 1. And I see 1 times 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 times 10 is 10. And if you didn't cancel them all here, right down, when you get down to this fraction here, then you'll be able to watch and see if this is reduced. So 3 over 10, 3 is prime, can't go any lower. Okay, let's continue. Practice. We got more to do. So you got work these out now before I do them and see if you get the right answer. Here we go. 2 over 9 times 9 over 5, reciprocal. The 9's cancel 1 and 1, so I get 2 over 5 when I multiply. 10 over 15, I'm dividing, so I multiply by the reciprocal, 5 over 2. Can I cancel? Yep, I can cancel here for a bit of fun. 5 into 10 goes 2, 5 into 15 goes 3. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 2 goes once, so that gives me a 5 over 3. 3 goes into 5 once, and there's 2 left over, so it's 2/3. Dividing fractions, so I multiply by the reciprocal, which is 5 over 21. Can I cancel? 7 into 7 once, 7 into 21, 3. 5 into 5 once, 5 into 10, 2. That gives me 1 over 6 when I multiply. 10 and 7, 20 over 7. That's 10 times 7 over 20. The 10 is over 1, and multiplication, I can cancel. 10 into 10 goes once, 10 into 20 goes 2. 1 times 7 is 7, 1 times 2 is 2. 2 into 7 goes 3 times, and 1 left over. Division, make the 12 over 1, so that's 6 over 7 times 1 over 12. 6 and 12 reduce down. 6 into 6 goes once. 6 into 12 goes 2. So that's 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 2 is 14. And I have improper fractions, so 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. Oop, I better not divide it until I get both mixed numerals changed. 20 plus 1 is 21 over 5. 4 times 5, 20 plus 1. Now I have both of them changed, so I go 7 over 3 times 5 over 21. And I cancel. 1, 7 and 7 goes once, 7 and 20 goes 3. So when I multiply there, I get 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 3 is 9. And in number 7 here, I have no mixed numerals, so I don't have to change. So 3 over 5 multiplied by 7 over 10. This is a multiplication, so I don't have to do the reciprocal. Now, 3 cancel? Yes, 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 21 goes 7. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 7 once. I have a 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times. And if I look, I got 1 times 3, so that's 3. And I got 1 times 10 times 1 is 10. And everything works out. And to finish it all off, let's simplify these, and guess what we have? We have to obey the orders of operations. Note the order of operations in these. So that's P, E, M, D, A, S, or BEDMAS, whatever one you want. This is, again, repeat. This is parentheses or brackets, then is exponents, then is multiplication, division, going left to right, whatever comes first, and addition, subtraction. So every time we do these, we'd say, well, what am I, yep, I have brackets, 7 over 9 divided by, I have to work out these. So that gives me 4, 9 is a common denominator, 4, 5 minus 1 is 4. The inside of the bracket is done. Now I do my division. So 7 over 9 times 9 over 4. The 9's cancel once and 1. So that gives me 7 over 4. And 4 into 7 goes once and 3 left over, 3/4. I have no brackets in number 2, but I have an exponent. So I do my exponent first. 4 squared, 16. 5 squared, 25. Done. So I do that, and I write down the rest of the problem. Done. Now I have a subtraction and a division. So I divide first. So 16 over 25, 8 over 5 times its reciprocal, 3 over 8. So that's 16 over 25. Remember, I got to keep going until the multiplication is completed. 8 into 8 goes 1 and 1. So I get 3, subtract 3 over 5. Now that that's completed, I have to subtract. Common denominator for 25 and 5, or a multiple, is a 25. So I multiply the first, the second fraction by 5 on the bottom to get 25. So I can multiply 5 on the top. That will give me 16 over 25. Subtract 15 over 25. There's a 15 and a 25 when you multiply. 25 is my common denominator, and 16 minus 15 is 1. So 1 over 25. Number 3, I have no, let's look at, I have no brackets or parentheses. I have no exponents. So now I have to do multiplication and division left to right. So I work these out and these out. But before I do, I have to change my mixed numerals for improper fractions. 1 times 3 plus 2 is 5 over 3. And I have mixed numeral here, so I change that. Because I'm multiplying and dividing, change your mixed numerals first. 1 times 5 plus 1 is 6 over 5. Now, I have to multiply, I have a division here. So I should, probably if I want, I can change my division to a multiplication. So 6 over 7 times 5 over 6. I could have worked this one out and then did this one, but I decided to change the division to a multiplication. So now I have to multiply these, and I add last. 7, 3's cancel. I get a 5 over 7. The 6's cancel. 1 and 1. I get a 5 over 7. And when I add, a common denominator is 7, so 5 plus 5 is 10. And 7 into 10 goes once, and 3 left over, so 3 sevens. Obey PEMDAS. PEMDAS. Don't forget, inside the brackets first. Let's go. So, if I do inside of here, I got to get a common denominator. 6 and 3, the common denominator is 6. So I multiply the second fraction by 2 over 2. That gives me 5 over 6. Subtract 2 over 6. Notice 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Same denominators. So notice I'm working the inside of each of these. And if I work the inside of this one, so I have that done. So I can do this one if I want, or I can finish this one out. I finish the first one out, or do the second one. The second one is 3 minus 1 is 2, and 3, common denominator is 4, so 3 subtract 1 is 2. So this one gives me 6 is the common denominator, and I get a 3. So, and this one is 2 and 1/2, because 2 quarters is a half. So I have to do, and 3 over 6 is a half. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 2. So I got all broken down, dividing. So I'll make this one. 4 times 2 is 5 over 2. Now I have my brackets fully simplified now. Now I do my power. 1 cubed is 1 times 1 times 1, 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, divided by 5 over 2. So that's 1/8 times the reciprocal, 2 over 5. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 8, 4, so that gives me a 1 over 20. Number 5, we look through. Do we have any brackets? Yes, we have brackets here. This is already simplified, and the 1/3 is already, so I have to work out this bracket fully before I touch anything else. So 8 over 15 divided by, now I'm working in here, so I have 4/5 multiplied by 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5 over 2. And I'm working the inside of that bracket, so I will not do anything else. Let me write it down. I have to finish off this bracket fully before I do anything. So I have the mixed numeral changed to an improper fraction. Now I cancel 5 once, 5 once, 2 once, 2, 2. So that becomes a 2. Subtract 3 over 5 squared times 1/3 squared. Notice I have this bracket fully done to a 2. Now I have to obey. I have to do PEMDAS. I have all my inside the brackets done. Now I do my exponents. So I will not touch this division, will not touch the subtraction until I get these exponents done. 3 over 5 squared is 9 over 25. Times 1/3 squared is 1 over 9. Now I have inside the brackets done, the exponents are done. Now I have a division and a multiplication. So 8 over 15. 2 is 2 over 1, so that's a 1/2. So I have my division changed to a multiplication. Okay. So now I have a multiplication, subtraction, multiplication. So I multiply these two first. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 8 goes 4. So that gives me 4 over 15. 4 times 1, 15 times 1. Subtract. Multiply, 9's cancel. 9 into each is 1. And I get a 1 over 25 when I multiply. I got a 15 and a 25. So how do I get the 15 is 3 times 5. 25 is 5 times 5. So that's a 3 and a 5 as factors. But notice 5 times 5 is 5 squared. So I take one of each factor, which is a 3 and a 5, and I take the highest power of each one. So the highest exponent of 5 is 5 squared. So that's 3 times 25. So the LCD, which is the least common multiple, same thing, is 75. So that means you multiply 15 by 5, because 15 into 75 goes 5. 5 on the bottom, 5 on the top. 25. 25 into 75 goes 3. 3 25s is 75. So 3 on the bottom, 3 on top. That gives me a 20, and it gives me a 75 when I multiply. This gives me a 3 and a 75 when I multiply. Multiply numerators, denominators, numerators, denominators. Common denominator is 75. 20 minus 3 is 17. 17 is prime. There's no more numbers that go into it. So, BEDMAS, order of operations, extremely, extremely important. That's why I keep emphasizing. And if you like my video, click on the like button, the subscribe button, click on the notification bell to receive notifications when I do more videos. If you want, write a comment, and visit my website at www.mathfullyexplained.com. You'll find information about me, my degrees, the experience in teaching math. My videos will have telling you about the teaching strategies I use in my videos, and you'll see the content that I have on my YouTube channel. Topics, the number of videos, and the topics completed will be in black font. The topics that I will do later will be in red font. Hope you enjoyed my video. Bye-bye.